Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3 and Japan. And we are playing in version 13, and it's been a little bit of time since I've recorded anything at all actually, so it's quite interesting to get into a new Hearts of Iron campaign. I thought Japan could be quite fun because I believe in version 13 the Soviets have had quite a bit of a rework, so it should give me a little bit of an opportunity to kind of take a look at them, take a look at their units and things without playing them. I don't necessarily love playing the Soviet Union, so I might do a campaign of them soon, but I'm probably not going to be rushing into one. I'm just going to lower the effect volume because the ping sounded, yeah, a little bit loud, but that's a bit better. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all of our naval units into Tokyo, and I'm going to bring all of our air units into the capital as well. The last decision I've got to do is the leader backstory. I've done everything else. We're playing on normal black ice with most of the enemies on hard or very hard, dependent on what we're looking to do. So yeah, let's sound good and get started. So, political negotiator. We're going to do the professor, I think. Because we don't have the world's largest amount of leadership, and an 8% increase would not be disliked. Oh, a slightly bigger. Ooh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll definitely do the child apprentice in the factory for the resource bonus, because it's no longer insignificant. They've kind of made these a little bit more interesting, which I like. Prominent banker. The 1.5 is quite good for the industrialist side of things. Yeah, I mean, it's either the industrialist for the extra 5%, general IC for a little bit of manpower, or it's the money decrease. Yeah, the money decrease is a bit shit. In fact, we might actually just drop down as well. Yes, we need 80 to drop down to basic training, which I think would be worthwhile. I will want to do specialist at some point, but at the moment, I don't think that's probably a good call. IC efficiency for production, 1%. National manpower, minus 3%. I mean, we're not going to be losing. Like, that isn't that much, and we've got the general Banzai bonus, which I don't know what that comes from, but... Oh, wait. Yeah, so... you know what? Let's do the businessman one. Fuck it. And... yeah, we'll do the peace activist because the -2 to national revolt risk is actually quite good. So that's brought down that a little bit and brought us up to 14 for upgrades. And then we get a new day is dawning, so we get the U tile. Let's just hit the plus up here and then we can see everything. Just attach that into wherever for now. So... liking this. This is good. We're off to a nice start. Let's put time forwards. And... okay, so we will definitely do that metal trade. And I have clicked the option to annex Manchukuo, so I'm expecting that to pop up in a minute. And I'm probably going to keep hold of some of our other units as well at the same time. So 9 money, 24 supplies. I don't want to do that. Ship armor focus. So I'm going to do ahistorical here because I prefer the closed hangar carrier setup. I'm probably going to do... So the naval build time minus 1.5 is quite nice, which I think is what... Yeah, they use copper instead of nickel. But I think we're just going to do the cemented armor and the closed hangar. We will favor the IGN this year because I think we're going to get the historical build-up event pretty soon. And then... Okay, informative events. Okay, fair enough. Before we do that, let's do general economy, and then over here... So... Okay, what do we want to be doing? That's a good question. So, I know we do get bonuses, don't we, for... I think the Asian prosperity sphere? Yes, this thing here. So, and they can be quite sizable, so... you've got the first level, which is 10 IC, and you need 2 puppets in place for that one. And you need 3 for the 17, so it gets quite sizable, actually. Daily descent change. I don't think we'll want to do this immediately. It's not enough of an upside, I think, at the moment. But it definitely... I mean, at 3, so when you've got 4 members... then it really builds up, actually, at that point. And at the final level, you need 5 members. So, 5 members. So, in the future, if we take out Australia, New Zealand, yeah, Siam, that'll be 3, Philippines 4, and then Nanjing, yeah, 5. Yeah, okay, so it's quite easy to achieve it, actually. And also, we can probably do it with China as well. So, yeah, I'm going to probably keep hold of these provinces for now, and then go over that. It's like a next page, and a next page. So much stuff. Just going to close that for now. And then, yeah, so we're going to do light aircraft. We'll be historical on that one, because you get quite a nice bonus for that. I like the range bonus. So light aircraft, and then I would imagine that, yeah, casted armor, and then under tanks, diesel engines. So light aircraft, cast armor, diesel engine. Yeah. Yep, so we'll do that one. Okay. Right. Let's keep time going forwards. Okay, so removal of some of this. So we've got a 4% IC efficiency. We will do normal for the strat resource because I don't care. Creation of battle commanders. Second armament supply ship per program, yes. Korean independence, so fate of Manchuria. Handling the Zabid, yeah, historical build-up, there we go. So scripted invasions, yes. Leader removal, fine. Right, we've got a little bit... We're going to gain a bit of dissent, I think. So we're going to hold on that one until we've had a chance. So we're going to gain some threat if we do this, if we take over Manchurian. But I do think it's worthwhile, so we are going to inherit it. Don't gain any dissent for that. The Korean independence movement. So we can choose to cooperate with them, and they'll gain some stuff. They get imperial government and a bunch of other people that are in alliance with us. Or we can defend the status quo. And you know what? We'll defend the status quo, because we don't get a negative for doing so. And then... So, we've got the Yuzuru Hariga timer. So, until the 1st of February 1936, giving the following effects. Hariga no budget, giving the following effects. So, 25%, yeah, reduction in money. But... look at all of that. That is big. So we will take that because that is quite a benefit. So And I'm happy with the historical access for the Japanese Navy build-up. And then we get the handling of the Z-Batus. So, now for this one... So, consumer goods during... If we militarize them, we get it. So, what have we got? We've got support the Zabatus, which just is a reduction in money and a 5% increase in IC. Ruling party support if we challenge them, let them be. Nationalize them, which nets us 10%, but we lose 10% or 20% money debuff, and we lose 10% of resources in general, which is quite steep. I don't like that. Or we can militarize them. Now, what I'm wondering is we get a bit of money for having the laissez-faire capitalist. If we were to militarize them, we gain 10% goods during peacetime, and a little bit of a money loss, which we can definitely handle. I think we'll militarize them, and we will gain the national unity. Okay, so far that's pretty good, and yeah, we have got one hell of a production budget at hand. Now, I think... Yeah, basic mobilization is available, and it's a 56 cost. So, I think we will take that, because I think it's going to reduce our consumer goods during peacetime substantially. Happy days. Got ourselves a lot of ports, a lot of units as well, which is good. We've inherited the army, which is not a bad thing. And we're doing nearly a full production queue. In fact, what we will do is anything that's pretty quick, so the destroyers that have got quite a bit of time left on them, or not left on them, who's finishing up kind of soonish. Quite a lot of stuff. Let's move down the plains, because they're quite slow. And then we'll move you up, and then we'll move you two up. You two can move down, which are a little bit slower. Okay. And then, yeah, we need to get ourselves a little bit more money up and organized. And we have still got a full leadership queue going, so love this. This is pretty good. We're lacking a little bit of rares, but it's not horrendous. We've got ourselves a pretty decent little grouping of units in place. And we will do revolts. And there's the prosperity sphere. And yeah, a full production queue. 83 means that we can probably lower this down a little bit to basic training. And then there's a load more leadership. So I did set up our tech to start up and running. So yeah, we are going to do that. Okay. And we've got a little bit of leadership coming in as well. We can probably put time on a quicker time frame soonish. And we might want to start bringing our units kind of back relatively soon. Okay, nationalize the private sector, long lance torpedo. And yeah, have some ships finish pretty much immediately. No complaints at all on that score. Yeah, we can definitely be doing worse. And expecting... If we go to speed 4, that'll just make it a little bit quicker. Right, budget reserves. And... yes, I think we do want that. We'll start with the starting XP bonus. And then a little bit of metal, sure. And then Japanese OOB events, so we will allow the events. And apparently there are today thousands of columns proceeding.
And these troops are now retreating from the regions from which they have been captured.
Okay. Money is starting to get where we want it to be. And there's no harm in taking the railway gun there. Let's just attach you like that. And you like that. And you like that. And then... fourth, third, fifth. And second.
He has just said that when we succeeded in conquering a state of 36 million inhabitants in 1 month.
Okay, so we can't attach you in there.
That is not only luck, but our
okay, that's fine. We'll just attach them in where they're at for now, and then we'll reorganize it. Only having... yeah, it's like so... this is so disorganized. Okay, making some money. 10 money for 8 rares. You know what, Turkey? We will take that trade. Okay. And we've got some more ships finishing up. So I think a lot of them will be done soon. Definitely we'll do those trades for energy in order to gain just a tiny bit more money. That's no bad thing at all. And here's hoping that we can just build up a little bit more. There we go. That's the kind of thing we want. A nice meaty fuel trade. Right, okay, so that was a quite a neat and easy-going start, to be honest with you. The next thing that I want to do is I probably want to combine my naval units, and then we might want to consider what units we want to bring back fairly pronto-ish. So, if we have a quick look then at what we've got over here. So... I think we do probably want to bring back all of you. So yeah, they're pretty basic cavalry over there, so don't want them. And you know what, we'll take that mixed brigade back because they got some infantry and things. Both of you are a definite yes. Tiger units. Yeah, and those guys, I think they're all worthwhile. Effectively any like really basic cavalry units, like not really interested in them. They can stay and be occupational. It's a good little unit there. And you know what? We'll take both of you. And you've got an armoured car in, so I would say you're probably worthwhile to come back with us. And, yep, specialised light infantry, sure. And I'm happy to leave those guys behind. Okay, so that's probably all of our good units out of Manchuria. Then, let's take all of the transport ships. Got a variety of different classes here. That's something. We'll leave behind that one. And then we'll move you over to there to go pick them up. And yeah, loving seeing that reinforcement tick down a little bit more into upgrades. And we might want to start reorganizing the Navy into need to upgrade as soon as possible and, you know, not as much of a concern. Start prioritizing effectively. Okay, a little bit more into upgrades. Good. Nearly 200 IC is not too bad, really. We don't have any missing people yet. We could create puppets, but we're not going to. And energy for money, sure. And then, yeah, if we could upgrade our units and do something like that, that'd be a good start to get all of that done. And yeah, there's another destroyer. And I'm hoping for at least 2k across kind of everything. I think that would be what we're after. I want the mining option first. I think that would be very helpful. And a heavy cruiser. 220 ships, of which some of them are not really combat capable. There's probably about 8 in there, plus the Plus the coastal battleships that aren't really worth very much at the moment, but they will become light carriers. I'm assuming that you can still do that upgrade on them. Yes, okay, that's good. And it's nearly a scrollable list. And we are going to need to turn our attention to the army relatively soon. And start that up and running before too long. Revolt risk doesn't look too bad. It's that baseline nationalism that's being thrown out there that's a bit of a problem, but okay, and that's at 42% for upgrades. And 82 a day is pretty good, money-wise. That's considering the amount of like big debuffs we've got at the moment. Like current level of IC efficiency at 4% is pretty good. Right, yet another destroyer. And it is purely that one, those few units that we're waiting on. So, the Shanghai incident. The Shanghai incident, also called the January 28th incident, was a conflict between the Empire of Japan and the Republic of China in the Shanghai International Settlement that happened in 1932. It's 1936 now, so I'm interested where we're going with this. Japanese aggressiveness in China provoked anti-Japanese demonstrations in Shanghai, including the beating and killing of a Buddhist monk. Oh, that's what a motherfucker. The Japanese Navy and Army forces overreacted, and the conflict generated into a heavy fight involving more than 100,000 men, 80 ships, and 300 planes facing 50,000 Chinese soldiers of the 5th Army and the 19th Route Army. On the 5th of May, China and Japan signed the Shanghai ceasefire agreement, which made Shanghai a demilitarized zone and forbade China to garrison troops while allowing the presence of a few Japanese units in the city. China was allowed to keep only a small police force within the city. Shanghai must be protected. That is true. Flavor text. All the flavor text. Okay, so rare materials. Where are we going? So we got decent relationship with Peru. 75, yeah, okay, that's fine. Trying to avoid anyone that doesn't like us, so that we can just get the best possible deals on goods. I would imagine Argentina feels relatively favorably. They're probably somewhere in the mess. Let's see if it's easier to look them here. Yep. And at 0.42, they'll go and help us. We'll take it. And I think we've got enough for an event pretty soon. In fact, there we go. So we will postpone you, and we will postpone our mine expansion plans. But we will do the mining event. So 25,000 supplies is a lot. But mining and then Gluck Alf will give us, I think, a pretty good amount of upside here, which is nothing to be sniffed at. To be honest with you, the event from the US is also very good. So amphibious armor, yes. Engineers, yes. We'll do pack artillery. Mixed recon. So we've got army reorganization, yes, but for the motorized brigades, we want to do a tank destroyer focus, and then IGA organizational, well, a little bit different from Western standards. The General Army Shogun was the highest level, corresponding to an army group in the Western military terminology, placed under the command of a field marshal or full general. AR armies, Homengen in Japanese military terminology, were equivalent to field armies in Western militaries, placed under command of a general or general lieutenant. And then a Japanese army or a gun represented an army corps in American or British military terminology. It was usually commanded by a lieutenant general. Interesting. Let's see the division templates. Okay. So, Japan raised during World War II 3 guard divisions and over 220 infantry of various types. Type A divisions, reinforced or square, with full divisions made up of 4 infantry regiments and various supports, including an artillery regiment, transport, engineer, and a cavalry. Assigned for recon missions. On average, they were 22,000 to 28,000 strong. These massive formations were progressively replaced by Type B divisions in 1939 and 1940. Type B divisions, so-called standard or triangular, were similar to previous type and support units. They'd all got expanded, but the corps was made up of 3 infantry regiments. These were more comparable to Western ones, makes sense. Type C, or security divisions, counterinsurgency, was assigned for police and garrison duties. 2 infantry brigades. 4 infantry battalions, less support than Type A. Yeah, okay. And, yeah, happy to represent, I mean, at the moment, what are we doing? That's fine. So, the 226 incident. The incident called the Niroku Jiken, or the 226 incident, was attempted by a coup d'etat in Japan from February 26th to February 29th in 1936, carried out by 1,483 troops of the Imperial Japanese Army. Several leading politicians were killed, and the center of Tokyo was briefly occupied by the rebelling troops. At that time, the incident was called the Deplorable Incident in the Capital, Tieto Fushio Jiken. Okay. The main cause of the incident was the actions of some young activists, officers, mainly below the rank of major. They noted problems of political corruption, extreme poverty in rural areas, and decided the solution to remove some of the elder statesmen in the government. Their slogan was assure restoration, revere the emperor, expel the evils. They failed. So the 226 incident begins. We gain some dissent, which is not so good, but we lose neutrality, which is very good, and so they're going to lose organization and popularity across the main, and some of the other areas are going to gain popularity, which is not so good for us. Let's just remove that bit of dissent. 16 a day should clear it out in the next... What's that? Probably the next month or so. So very low popularity. But we're up to 7 IC efficiency, and I want to deploy engineers. I'm happy to deploy anti-tank. And we can do full mobilization, which is interesting. So, if we were to go over to here and do full mobilization, we gain some leadership. We lose some more consumer goods. And we gain some more IC, so yeah, there's no reason not really to do that. Okay, I'm not sure why we're getting you're using... Well, we're not, but... Thank you, game, for calling it out. I imagine it needs to reset and retick. There we go. And let's just pull everything into consumer goods for a minute. And then... yeah, another destroyer. And our neutrality is coming down really nicely. And I'm just wondering now, would it not be better maybe to go onto 1-year draft? Probably. And yeah, the IC efficiency for production is quite good. Yeah, we'll do 1-year draft just because it'll just be better from a manpower perspective as well. So 38 a day, 10 days, we'll have that descent cleared out. And we'll also probably have some of our ships and things. Yeah, they don't have really much to go at all, really. I would say that we'll be there across things pretty quickly. And yeah, just waiting on you two to finish redeploying. Okay, and anything like around here that we need to, yeah, so like you can go there. And you can go down there. You can go there. And then let's move you into a garrison role. It's a similar deal with that militia unit. Okay, that's good. Okay, and the Soviets really want us to join their faction, which is interesting. I wouldn't imagine we align very well politically. I'm nicely watching that descent disappear. I'm feeling quite happy. It's not quite enough for 40, but that's fine. It shan't be long now. I am just gonna lower the music a little bit more, just because it feels a little bit loud to me. Okay, so a major worker strike. Right, we just got to find and arrest the strike leaders. then there goes our descent. Okay, so put a little bit more into reinforcements. Okay, so you, definitely you two. Right, got them all loaded up. Let's transport them over. Okay, and we can go back into our upgrade run in a minute. We need apparently a great deal to reinforce, so that's fine. And I'm loving having a fully functional production queue and driving out all of these naval ships really quite quickly. And I'm happy to do that fuel trade. You may not like us, Britain, but if you want to buy fuel, we will always do that. And same thing with you, US. Like, we've got good relations. Yeah, 105. It's good. The communists are pushing out. Be interesting if they take Xi'an. Right, so energy. For money. Yep. That'll take us over 80. And then, yep, fuel for money. 104. Love it. Build up that monetary surplus. Okay, and it's a shame that we're still just massively like reinforcing. And another 2 torpedo boats. Where are we at? Yeah, okay, we're doing good. You out of there. Give you an anti-aircraft gun. And yeah, we're just waiting on. We had 2 last units that I hadn't picked up yet. Oh well. And then we're back at 2,000, I think. That's good. Right, and I think I'm going to call it an episode in a moment, because we will be on March 1st. And I feel quite positive. I think we've accomplished a lot in this first episode. We are slowly but surely getting through the initial production queue quite quickly, to be completely honest, which is always really positive. We're going to have a CAG out soon, and a couple of additional heavy cruisers. In fact, Tony probably speed these two up. Yeah, we're going to have nearly everything done by kind of the middle of the year, actually. In fact, it doesn't look like there's much that is... It's only really those heavy cruisers where they're in August time, which hopefully they will speed up a little bit once Tonier finishes, although I think the Tonier will probably not speed up by much, but even a few days would be good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to the next episode of Hearts of Iron 3. Thanks again. Bye-bye.